Hi, I'm Carlos. I'm going to present my final unit for the course. I prepared my unit using three lessons, using technology in different ways. Um, in my first lesson, I use the display, the board. Students, of course, needed to understand, video, that is taken from the internet. I'm basing my unit in history arts in the city of Tampa. So the student should get some knowledge about the basic architectural styles, designs for monuments, parks. So it is important for the students to know the history and the arts related to the city where they are living, in Tampa. So I decided for the city, for the downtown area, some monuments, the most important historical buildings. So I developed these lessons and the technology to be used um, based on this topic, in different ways. So as I was explaining the first lesson, students watch the video. They also read some information about the history of Tampa, and they were learning new vocabulary, expressions, some pictures. Um, so for the second lesson, I include like a virtual world, Second Life, and I learned for them that was separated by the teacher, space in the game that a student could log in inside and play, enter immerse in the game, only in that island. They could not go in the other islands or in the other space in the game because of other people, just because they couldn't anyway. They need the login information. So the login is just for the island, and the teacher prearranged this island with the most important artworks in the city in that area. Located an island, in imagine in 3D, in virtual reality, So a student they can get immersed in that, and they learn about the buildings, the arts, the architectural styles, the processes or something. When they enter in those places, they can like in the avatars. They choose the avatars and they go inside and they look inside as if they were inside, and they get information there too, so it's something that in real life they couldn't do, So they in the virtual world, a student they could enter in, for example, in parks, monuments like or historical parks or buildings, and get information. Um, so it is like this lesson. I mean, this activity, the virtual world is lasts like 30 minutes. Also, the teacher they have like an informal assessment at the end of the game where they should inside the game like try to open some doors, um, try to answer some questions. That they have multiple choice. So the teacher, the scores are sent to the a database that the teacher gets the results. Also, students they can participate in the groups. They share, they interconnect. They speak, they collaborate in the game with other students. Speaking in English. I mean, because they are improving the English skills. There is seventh grade. I mean, um, so in this way, the teacher can get also records, of this communication, to see how different students speak. I mean, if they can get the vocabulary that they need in the new topic. Also, for the big and the last lessons, the third lesson, students were like preparing for the excursion to the real world, to the real city. Where they are going, we're going to admire, to see, enjoy the monument, the parks, the real situation. You know, and for this, they're going to use like communication with line. It's a sharing video. Um, it's a tool, it's an app that they should download in their cell phones. And for example, they are in front of a monument or any building of the ones that they should visit, and they can communicate with the historian of the specialists, and they can know what is it about, any question. They interact with the historian, it's like an instant interaction, I mean, from him to all of them at the same time in front of the place, so it doesn't need to be there. So if they go to another place, they can again communicate and get the information they want. And they should collaborate using their blogs, the online class blog, with all the information that they get, the pictures they take in those places, they can input in their blog, and they can this way share with their students, and they prepare for the final PowerPoint presentation that it was supposed, I mean, it's supposed to be the other week after, the day of the excursion, so where they will present the findings, what they got, the pictures. They have the students from groups of four, and each group will present a PowerPoint where they will showcase what they have learned, the vocabulary, the buildings, pictures, on the way they want. They could be creative, because this is a seventh grade mainstream class, English language. There's supposedly there are some English language learners, in the class. So there are some modifications, In the first part of the unit, I include a list of some modifications, that are going to be presented in the lessons. Um, Mostly in English language learners, they will get some transcript, for example, of the video in their language. There will be the glossaries with the translation of some words. Even in the video game, in the virtual world game, they will get a tool where they can translate some words and expressions that they are learning inside the game. Um, Sorry. Also, for example, in the assessment too, they will be able to do that, and also the explanations of the teachers sometimes, because they will get help, they will collaborate with mainstream students, they will share information. So the final PowerPoint, English language learners, they can present in their language if they are not able still to, they don't feel safe in English, or they can do some kind of measure, working with other mainstream students, the teacher is not going to grade their level in the language. I mean, just the vocabulary of the topic, the arts, architecture, designs, or history. I mean, they should be able to understand that and understand more or less that vocabulary, and they should present that in the PowerPoint, So this is the way that I integrated technology with the topic of arts in the city, and I prepared this unit with the three lessons. After that, they will come the excursion to the city, and preparing for the PowerPoint the other week. So I think that I have been um, integrating this kind of online communication, among all students and the teacher, Also, there's a part with the lab where students will um, go and, use the computer for the virtual world, so there are different activities for tasks, for students. So this is what my unit is about. The name of the unit is Arts and the City, where I live, So I think that the unit is still like covering different aspects of technology, of modern technologies, that can be used in education. And I think in this way, students will be able to use these tools to learn, to get content, to assimilate content, Um, that's why I think that my three lessons are quite well structured. They have all the tasks, everything is quite aligned, Um, so this is my presentation for my unit, for the final unit and the lesson plans that I include. Thank you.